Rob, it's not a news flash to say, Edgar Wright is one of the most beloved directors in Hollywood.
Yes.
Hollywood movie fans love Edgar Wright, and for good reason. This dude is as authentic, geeky, movie loving, just cool guy ever. I remember the first time I met him, I'll see if I can find a picture of this a little bit later, was before anybody in North America really knew his name. He came over to Toronto, this is years ago, to do the first North American screening of Shaun of the Dead. And he came over, and we at the Movie Blog were kind of honorary hosts, I guess you could say, of the event. And him, Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, when, again, a lot of people in North America didn't know who they were at the time. And they came over, and we got to hang out with them, had breakfast with them the next day, just the coolest guys. I've gotten to have, Edgar Wright on my panel at Comic-Con. They've invited me to do Q&As with them for some of their movie screenings that they've done and things like that. He's just the coolest guy in the world. And then recently, a couple of years ago, he did Baby Driver. And Baby Driver was bonkers fun. I love that movie. John Hamm was particularly great in it, but everybody was great in the movie. I really, really love that movie. Well, now he's had this new project coming out called Last Night in Soho. And I mean, it's an Edgar Wright project, Rob. And so just based on being an Edgar Wright project, I'm interested. But, the sound of the synopsis was, whatever, maybe this is just a little artsy project for him to do. But, oh my goodness, dude.
John, I just want to point out, it's actually last night.
Last night, sorry. What did I call it?
You said one night.
Last night in Paris. Sorry about that. Last night in Paris. Last night in Soho. I'm getting the Paris films propped up in my brain here. Last night in Soho. But Rob, oh my goodness. The trailer is dropped. And it is all sorts of Finchian and like a little bit of Wes Anderson and just and a little bit of creepy. And there's hardly any dialogue in this trailer. Like hardly any dialogue in this trailer. And yet the story was being told.
Yes.
They just had that song. If you're alone and you're feeling lonely, you can always go downtown. But as
o'clock.
The images, Rob, was telling the story. There's this young girl kind of feeling isolated and alone in the big city. And then she goes to sleep and she dreams and she's this other person, but then kind of like a Nightmare on Elm Street scenario, things that are happening in that dream world are crossing over. And then you hear dialogue. Do you believe in ghosts? Or something along those lines. Yeah. And then it just takes a turn for the freaky. And the atmosphere of the trailer was just intense and great. I've been waiting to see the next Anya Taylor-Joy thing ever since her chess show. I keep forgetting what the name of her chess show was. What was it again?
Queen's Gambit.
I want to say Queen of Kotway, which is also Gambit. Queen of Kotway is also a chess thing. Is also a chess movie. But yeah, Queen's Gambit. Been waiting to see her in her next thing. This looks great, and I don't know a lot about it. I'll look forward to another trailer when we get a little bit more of the narrative. But man, I thought for a first trailer, this thing was just dripping in atmosphere. It was dripping in tension. It had you going, what is going on? And yet it was telling a story without a lot of... I just thought it was a great trailer, Rob. You had a chance to check this out. What did you think?
Oh, dude. Well, first of all, Edgar Wright is an incredible visual stylist. I don't think he gets enough credit for, his direction. I recently revisited Scott Pilgrim, which is a movie I wasn't necessarily particularly fond of. I only saw it once, but going back and reviewing it, man, that movie's well done. And Baby Driver is a tour de force in direction. And this film looks like, my God, it looks visually sumptuous, and I love the Cornetto trilogy. And I mean, this movie has Terrence Stamp and Diana Rigg in it, and Matt Smith, Doctor Who. But I'll tell you, it really made me realize, John, if I was somebody in a past life, like in the 60s, I wouldn't have minded being Anna Taylor-Joy, because boy, wouldn't that be a great revelation if you knew? I have no idea how it works, but damn, I love her. She's become very quickly one of my most favored performers working in movies today. And when she was on the press circuit for the Queen's Gambit, you can't not love her when you get a taste of her real personality. What a joy she is, and this cast looks incredible. This film looks incredible. I didn't know what this movie was, but man, it has shot straight to the top of my must-see list.
Yeah, it looks great. And speaking of Anya Taylor-Joy, when you take a look at this picture of her, like, she's got a very unique look, right?
Yeah.
But when you see her in this thing, you realize she's got a look that you could plop her in the 60s and she looks like a 60s beauty. You could plop her in the 70s and she looks like a 70s beauty. You can drop her in today and she looks like she's got that look that just kind of transcends the decades. You know what I mean? It's like it's a unique yet a classic look all at the same time, and I really noticed that in this trailer. Anyway, the question for you guys is, did you have a chance to see this trailer for One Night in Paris? I'm kidding. Last Night in Soho. Did you guys have a chance to see this trailer? By the way, let's take one more look at this poster. That is a beautiful poster. I love that. I mean, yeah, it's got a little bit of the floating head syndrome, but it also kind of captures the essence of what we saw in the trailer at the same time. I just love that poster. Anyway, guys, did you have a chance to see it? What did you think? Jump on down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys.